After 23 and a half years, the last time has now passed. John Cena's in-ring career is over. Gunther defeated him by submission. One final bow and a salute later, John Cena walked out of Capital One Arena with his career in the rear view mirror. Let's get ringside to Jackie Redmond.
I was about to say, if you want to
Tess, thank you. Jey Uso just rolled up.
Footage, man, thank you, John. From my family to yours, you know what time it is, dog. Raise me, bruh. 15 years in the game, man. I don't believe you, though. You ain't gonna lie to me, cuz.
Jay, he put his shoes in the ring. I think he's really dumb, man. Let me ask you this. I look around the ring during that video. Everyone's emotional. You just asked Cody Rhodes if he was okay.
Yeah.
Why'd you ask him that? Why is everyone...
God damn. That's my dog. But look, though. Man, look, I don't believe him. Because he left them raggedy-ass sketches in the ring, cuz. I don't even know what kind of brand them is. But look, though, John, love you, dog. I'm a go, so I'm cussing.
You can't cuss. You can get emotional, though. Give us a yeet and be on your way, okay? That was not planned. Thank you, Jey Uso, for your thoughts. But guys, listen, it's emotional, right? Everyone has so much respect for John Cena. They're watching this video package as it plays. There were so many superstars sitting around the ring, and there wasn't very many dry eyes, right? AJ Styles, CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, all of these guys getting emotional watching the video package. And the last superstar standing around the ring while everyone else had left was Cody Rhodes, staring at those shoes, taking a moment to himself, and it was Jey Uso who left right before Cody and said, hey man, are you okay? Cody said, yeah, I'm all right, man. I need a moment. I need a moment to take this in. So it'll be very interesting to hear from Cody Rhodes and what this means to him, why it was so emotional, and what he's thinking about ringside as everyone else, John Cena included, has left, and it's the American Nightmare with his championship ringside, just taking a moment to say goodbye to the greatest of all time, John Cena.
Thank you, Jackie Redmond. Jackie, are any superstars still lingering ringside? What's the scene look like?
It doesn't look like it. Cody might still be down here. I'm not sure. We can take a little walk.
Cody's going to be making his way to the post show here, but just take a peek for us and give us a sense of what's happening. Also, in terms of percentage of fans at Capital One Arena, how many are still just sitting there taking it all in?
So many. Everyone on the floor is pretty much still here, and as you can see, Cody is still ringside.
Go over and approach him. I want to know
moment.
why he's doing that, why he's last to leave, and what he's taking in, please.
I know you're having a moment, so if you don't want me to ask you a question right now, I'll go. But what are you thinking right now? As you're the last person here, you're looking at the shoes and the sweatbands in the middle of the ring. Jey Uso asked you if you're okay. You say, yeah, man, I just need a minute. What is this minute to you?
It's really hard to describe in a sense of all the positives that he brought to our industry and leaving it better than he found it. And wrestling is there's a way it ends, you know, and he did everything right by the book. It's just still like when it's that good, you don't want it to end. I know that's vague, but he did everything by the book and taught so many people and set such a high standard, such a high bar. I'm not trying to get emotional on his night, but more than anything, just, you know, take a moment and think about those sneakers and, you know, the pump ups before that and the man who filled those and what he was able to do, and through good times, through bad times. Tonight, everyone's just chanting, let's go Cena, not a let's go Cena, Cena sucks in the house, just let's go Cena. It's everything. I'm so happy that I'm so happy it happened. It's a great arena with great wrestling history, and I'm so sad it happened too, right? You know, Triple H had called me and asked me if I would be part of Saturday Night's Main Event, and always wrestlers act like that's such a big ask. Are you kidding? To be part of John Cena's final show, to be able to bask in this glory and this house there's a number, I'm sure Triple H is reading it right now somewhere, the amount of sellouts, the amount of things John did. And I know that sounds really material, but John led with his heart and John also led with his mind. He was a businessman and he was trained by businessmen and he trained us to be businessmen. So for to go out here where you got 19,000 people, whatever it was, and not a soul leaves until he leaves, that's a sign of not a good career, a great career. And we can only hope to have something like that. Really, hats off to the greatest of all time.
Yeah, it's hard not to be inspired by someone like John Cena, and not every great superstar gets to see the end of their story end the way they want it to, right? Not everybody gets that. John Cena gets that, and he really embodies the spirit of the thing. And I think that is why, you tell me if that's part of the reason why you connect to him.
I heard CM Punk say that earlier. We don't always get to choose. I mean, Sinatra said it best, my way, right? And there was never somebody who did it more their way than John. And to be able to come in and do this and do it on the way out and do the honors, and he's just, there will never be another like John Cena. You know, you hear a lot of people like, this is the next John Cena, this is the next Brock Lesnar, this is the next Kurt Angle, this is the next Undertaker, it's the next Shawn Michaels, the next Triple H. There's never a next anybody. Everyone is unique when they can make it and when they can truly get over like John did, where he couldn't leave the house without people wanting to touch him and know him and be part of what John was doing. To me, it's just a moment to take a look at. That's a high bar, but that's what we're supposed to shoot for. And to John, he would say the same thing. That's what we're supposed to shoot beyond. So I know I'm just ranting and rambling.
It's beautiful, though.
I'm really honored that I could be here, and the good thing about WWE is we go right back to work Monday, and it's WWE without John Cena. What does that look like? And who steps up? I mean, it's right there. Who steps up and fills those shoes? And I have a feeling it's more than one person.
Well, listen, I bombarded you here, so I appreciate you sharing what is a very vulnerable moment. This was not a planned interview, so I appreciate the time.
I thought I had a planned
This is a where were you when moment, not just for the WWE fans in the house tonight, but for the superstars as well. Cody, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate you coming and grabbing me. It gives me an excuse to stay out here.
Well, you're the best. Take another moment. I will leave you to it. I appreciate you being so open and honest with us. Tess, I'm going to send it back to you. Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, there he is. Jackie, great job tracking him down ringside there as we welcome you outside to the post-show of Saturday night's main event here in Washington, D.C. By the way, it has gotten chilly and these fans are still here. And I want to tell these fans that we will have live guests, including CM Punk is going to be right here with you in moments. The World Heavyweight Champion, Joe Tessitore, Peter Rosenberg, and Big E. Let's get your first reaction to what we saw with Gunther, Cena, and everything that happened afterwards.
I think in many ways it went exactly as I thought it would. Disappointing. I thought Gunther was going to make Cena tap, and I would boo that as well. I would boo me as well. I didn't want to see that. I get it. People are upset. We all want that Cinderella moment.
I'm upset.
We want to see our childhood icon, our superhero.
But here's the thing. Sorry, E. All those years where I was one of the fans who would get like upset. I'm like, oh, Super Cena. Here comes Super Cena. Tonight was the night I wanted Super Cena. I wanted him to beat Gunther. That's what I wanted. I wasn't ready to see it. I feel like a hurt little kid. You know, like, I feel like these fans feel like they just watched the Caps lose 6-0 to the Rangers. You know what I mean? It feels like a real loss out here.
But look, this is a business where the young eats the old, man.
Yes.
This is what it is. And Gunther, it is his time right now. And it's sad for us to see. I hate it as well. But I think the reason this is affecting so many people, at least for us, and why it resonates is I think in many ways, I'm not going to compare this to the loss of life. But in life, you have many deaths along the way. And I feel like John Cena was our Paul Bunyan. He was this mythical figure. He was a guy who would return from injury in record time.
Oh, yeah.
He was a guy who worked every single show time and time again.
Yep.
I see him in the weight room. He's a hoss. It was like he couldn't age. It was like he couldn't lose. And now seeing this guy who we've seen on our TVs regularly for 20 years, now to see his mortality, this feels in many ways, it is an end. It is an end not to just to John Cena's career, it is an end to many people's childhood or their connection to their childhood.
Very well said.
It
Yes.
is an end to, I don't know if we'll ever see someone like John Cena again, this mythical figure who could just push through everything. And look, I know people are upset, rightfully so, but this is the industry, man, and the wheels will keep turning. Time, respect to John Cena. We're going to spend a lot of time talking about his career. I understand the anger. I understand the upset.
No, it happens. L's get taken.
WWE is life. Life is WWE, says somebody very powerful in this organization. That is the circle of the life in the industry tonight. Let's bring in the man who called this match so masterfully, Michael Cole. And Michael, I want to go back to one of your closing comments you said and just expand on that. Tonight, pro wrestling destroyed sports entertainment.
And that's what happened, Joe. There's no doubt about it. Gunther is a throwback. He's from the 70s and the 80s. The old brawler who comes out in the black boots and the black tights and he just beats people down. That's what Gunther did to John Cena tonight. John Cena, of course, was a different generation. He was the sports entertainment era. He was the guy who was out here to entertain the WWE fans. Gunther didn't give a damn about any of that. And tonight, like I said, professional wrestling defeated sports entertainment, much to the chagrin of 19,000 here tonight, millions watching at home.
Yeah, and Cole, I was going to ask you that. You know, I feel like so many of these fans, I just felt so disappointed. There was a point in the match when you were really trying to root John along there, you couldn't hold back. Did you feel that same disappointment when he tapped?
I think if you listen back to the call, obviously I did, because I mean, I just simply said John Cena tapped out. There was no screaming, there was no over the top. It was just a matter-of-fact statement, and that's how it happened. I think it was so unbelievable. I don't think anyone expected it, despite what Big E says, but I don't think anyone expected it on this night, and it was so shocking when it happened because the match was such an emotional roller coaster, and I've called almost all of John Cena's matches for the 23 years he was here in WWE, and each and every time, there was always big match John, as JBL used to say. He'd fight back, he'd get back in the match, he'd somehow pull it out in the end, and I think we all expected that tonight, and when he tapped at the last minute, I think everyone was just in complete shock.
Michael, great job tonight. I know this was an emotional week for you, an emotional evening, another master class as to how it's done, as the voice and the narrator and the soundtrack to an entire generation. And for 23 and a half years, you represented John Cena very well in documenting his story. Well done. Go get yourself a nice rye and enjoy your evening.
Thanks,
Will you, Michael
Thanks,
Cole?
guys.
Thanks, Cole.
Thank you very much. As we're back here, what'd you make of some of the things that Michael just said there?
Look, I love how much Cole has talked about his relationship with Cena. It is more than just someone who is called the greatest of all time in the ring. They have a real relationship. Their connection is very real, and you could see how much that Cole was affected emotionally, but I think he's spot on, and I think the framing of this is right. It truly is sports entertainment. This person.
Well, here comes our first MC.
Here it is.
And we hope it is
Of all people, always interrupting me. He's always interrupting me. That's what he does.
What's up, DC?
What's up, Miz?
Oh, man, I'll tell you what's up. That was an absolutely, dare I say, awesome show. An awesome performance. It's exactly what should have happened for this final John Cena match.
Is that not sour grapes? As someone who wanted that match, are you not celebrating? I think you're envious that spot wasn't your spot.
I'm coming here as Mike, not as The Miz, because honestly, John Cena has meant so much to my career and to a lot of people's career, and I think sometimes I come out there and I get angry. Is there a part of me that is angry that I am not his last match? Absolutely, 100%. I wanted to be in there. I wanted to be wrestling him one last time. I wanted the crowd to want it and have it, but they didn't. But here where I am. I got a spot on a mega show, on a show that is John Cena's final last match. I got to witness it up front, close and personal, and the right guy got the call. Gunther got the call, and Gunther succeeded, and you might boo him, but it is well-deserved. I've been in the ring with Gunther. They have not. I know that guy is ready for this pressure. He is ready to be the person that took out John Cena, that made John Cena give up.
Mike,
And now, Monday Night Raw,
can't wait.
I can't wait.
All right, now you talked about, this is Mike, not the Miz.
Okay.
I got to ask you, how important was your moment with John Cena 15 years ago? Your run at the top, the Rumble, WrestleMania. You guys had such an important moment. Can you even describe how John Cena affected your career in WWE?
I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't from learning from John Cena. Big E knows who was the first person after every live event, after your match, that was right there, and you would take a knee, and John Cena would be like, did you see anything with my match? Was it good?
Cena
And then he
always.
would say, hey, here's what you can do better. Take this with a grain of salt. Very humble. Not like, hey, kid, you need to do this, you need to do this. It wasn't like that. It was saying, hey, this is what you can do to be better. Am I wrong, Big E?
No, you're spot on. That was John Cena. And his mentorship, he was just present every single day, especially during the grind of doing 5 shows a week, every single week. He was always there to give advice, always there to pass on knowledge to the next generation.
Not just the 5 shows, by the way. When he was off, he was never off.
Right.
He was doing promotion. He was doing Make-A-Wish. He was always leading by example for all of us, saying, hey, I'm the hardest worker in the room. And this is what it takes to be where I am. And now it's amongst us right now who are here in WWE to take that and utilize it and showcase it to the young and up-and-coming superstars that is in NXT, that is in the Performance Center, the people that we saw out there in that arena tonight who absolutely dominated and showcased exactly what we're about to see is the future. And I can't wait to get my hands on all of them.
Mike, it felt like there were 2 matches within one match. There was the first half of the match when we saw the AA through the table, the power bombs, the avalanche AA. Then there was the entire sleeper match that had unbelievable layers to it. What do you take away from the match we saw?
When's the last time you were interested in a sleeper?
For like 15 minutes.
But when Gunther puts on a sleeper, you believe.
Yes.
You understand.
Oh, yes.
Anything that Gunther does, you believe in everything. He is the exact person that John Cena should, because of this. Because John Cena wants to go. Think about John Cena's career for just 1 second. Who did he always go up against? The biggest, baddest heel. The guy that is getting booed out of the building. And that is who Super Cena went up against. And normally he would beat him. And then they would be like, oh, John Cena beats everybody. John Cena beats everybody. I can't stand it, Super Cena.
You're not right.
To do, blah, blah, blah. And now what happens? John Cena did the right thing. The right thing. He tapped out. He gave up to Gunther.
So no part of you as a fan would have been happy to see Cena find a way to win that match?
No, because Gunther is the future. You look at Gunther, he is the future, whether you like it or not. He is the future of this business, and people are like, oh, but he's like in his upper 30s. This guy is in his prime. I have wrestled him. I have been in the ring with Gunther. I know how lethal, how damaging he can be. And I also know that what guy made me a babyface when I wrestled him? Gunther. Gunther.
Well, that's gone tonight.
I mean, this reaction actually proves your point in many ways.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right,
I love
now
it.
let's get to the other half of what we saw out there, and that is the post-match, the extended thank you Cenas, the roster circling the ring, Punk and Cody handing over their belts to put on his shoulder, and Cena walking off, boots, Skechers, left in the ring and walking off for one final salute. What was your
Skechers
takeaway?
better be paying a lot of money for that, I gotta tell you. But man, I'll tell you what, watching that video, seeing him take off his shoes and his wristbands and seeing the look on his face, like I was fighting tears. I'm not a crier at all. I'm not very emotional, but looking across from my colleagues, seeing people with tears in their eyes and seeing, because it's the emotion, it's what he's given us for the past 20, 25 years. He's given us his heart, his dedication, his hustle, loyalty, and respect. And we've all respected everything he's done in that ring and outside of that ring. And to sit there and see this is the last time, the last match, and we get to be a part of it, it was something truly special.
And Mike, we respect you giving such a strong opinion out here.
Thank you very much.
Give it up
man.
for The Miz. We're going to get some extended highlights
love you,
here.
Miz.
Let's go
I
back
love
and
you.
show you everything that happened here between John Cena and Gunther as The Miz comes in and he says, listen, the right guy won, and he won the right way. That is the circle of life. Gunther's the future. Gunther's the now, and Gunther's the vicious guy and the best he's been in with. This is the scene right now at what was the Fan Fest and has turned into now the post-show of Saturday night's main event. We're going to take a short break and come back with more live guests. CM Punk is on his way here.
It is the end of an era.
John, you can't see us, but we can see you.
It's been so inspiring to see what you've done from the doctor of thugonomics to ultimately the greatest of all time.
An absolutely incredible career. You work so hard and you do it with integrity.
You inspired so many people. You won a ton of championships. Almost impressive enough for me to forget the fact that you're a diehard Patriots fan. But hey, I guess no one's perfect, including the 07 Patriots.
John Cena, it's your boy Big Snoop Dogg. You know what it is. Congratulations, loved one. I'ma smoke one. Matter of fact, I'ma blow one for the pole one.
I gotta warn you, when you enter the grocery store or step into your garage, there's no entrance music at all in retirement unless you play it yourself on your AirPods. So, that's a free tip from me to you. Congrats again, pal.
Congratulations, John, on an amazing career. What you've done for the sport and for WWE is just insane. You're a legend. Congratulations.
Joe Tessitore, Peter Rosenberg, and Big E with you as the post-show continues with the World Heavyweight Champion joining us to get all his analysis and thoughts on John Cena and Gunther. Please welcome CM Punk. Great job out there.
Joe Testosterone.
Yeah. Come on.
Where are we at right
We got a lot to talk about.
All right, some cheering. I like that. I like hearing some cheering.
Beautiful. Yeah, let's put the strap up there.
There you go.
All right.
Well, the last time we saw that was handed over and put on the shoulder of John Cena.
Yeah.
Let's get into what happened post-match, and you playing a critical role of really leading the charge there and honoring Cena after the match.
What do you want to know?
I want you to tell us. How would you characterize it? What did you feel? What was it like in there?
You know, not deserved, but earned. I feel that me and Cody are two guys who came in when John was first getting on top, and, you know, you play follow the leader to an extent. There's a lot of alpha personalities. You know, there's people who think they know what they're doing, and, you know, I was always looked at as the indie guy. And, you know, maybe John even looked at me like that when I first got here. But, you know, you can be so good and so consistent for so long that it turns heads. And, you know, me and John became soulmates. So, you know, I think I'm in the position currently, certainly not because of anything I did, you know, or maybe a fraction. But John's definitely one of the guys that has helped a Cody Rhodes and a CM Punk get to his level, so to speak. So, yeah, put the straps on his shoulders because he's earned it.
Like going back, you mentioned it, the summer of Punk, that whole era, you and Cena were so intertwined, and you were that indie guy, and he was the face of company guy. When did it start to turn into like a real mutual respect and bond? Because I'm sure when you came in, you had to have some assumptions about John Cena.
Oh, sure, and just as he and a lot of the other top guys had the assumptions about me. And, you know, it could kind of be a battle, but I think the first time we ever touched in a ring, you know, the first time we ever locked up, we just gelled. It was just, there's just a little spark there. There was magic, you know?
You have made some allusions to being closer to the end than the beginning. Do you have any ideas? Do you want something like this, like here tonight, for you?
I don't got an answer for you, E.
Okay.
You know, like and when I make allusions to the end of whatever my career is going to look like, it's not because I feel like I'm there. It's just because I look back at the entirety of my career, and there is a lot more road behind me than there is ahead of me. Trust me, I am the champion for a reason, and I'm here to stay, and nobody's going to change that.
Yeah, having defeated
I'm
the
not going
guy.
anywhere anytime soon. Sorry if that disappoints some. Actually, I'm not sorry. The hell with you. If that upsets you, I'm glad.
Punk, what'd you make of the match itself?
I loved it. I've been in the ring with both guys. Obviously, a little bit more with Cena, but Gunther hits hard. And man, see, look,
They're not happy.
Gunther, everybody sings his praises. He's a complete throwback. He is the antithesis of sports entertainment. I feel like a little bit just like I was when I came in. Yep. Gunther's a pro wrestler, man. He is a wrestler's wrestler, and he proved it tonight.
You're a wrestling historian. We know that. You love the best, a little bit. I know we share a mutual love and admiration of Bret Hart and many other greats, Macho Man, etc. I know we say greatest of all time, and he's right up there. Where do you personally, CM Punk, see John Cena in the lexicon of the greats?
I mean, there's so many metrics,
So many.
There's gate records. There's how much money you drew, and John's very pragmatic. And if you talk to him, he'll tell you, we just had that emotional roller coaster out there watching John, saying goodbye to him, and the show must go on. Here I am doing the post show, and then I'm going to be on the road to Hershey for Monday night, and then next Monday, and on and on and on. John knows people are going to eventually forget about him. And the thing is, they might forget what he said. They might forget what he did. These people will never forget the way John Cena made them feel. That's a legacy. So you put him up there with some of the biggest stars from the biggest territories. Bruno, Hogan, Austin, Rock, John Tolos, Cowboy Luttrell, your favorite.
Oh, I love Cowboy.
We're talking about
Big Luttrell guy.
guys who consistently not only drew money in various territories, but I'm losing all kinds of.
You're good.
But did it with style and blazed a trail while doing it. Like he's definitely top 3 if you think about it. But it's all subjective, right? Like there's some people that are like, oh, Cena stinks because he wrestled in gym shoes, and it's just like, well, all right.
Let's not bother.
Not everybody. We don't need to know everybody's opinion, Like,
I think a lot of people would have loved to see you in this final spot, but you and John, obviously, you had your opportunity getting to see John with his version of the pipe bomb, getting to see you spit some bars as well. How much fun? It seemed like you were having a blast. Was that a lot of fun for you?
It was a ton of fun. You can make what you want of John Cena selling his soul, saying it, wasn't the right idea. He obviously made amends and apologized to the fans, and he came back to the, he's a Jedi again, and I just have a blast every time I get to work with John. So being reversed roles was just something that I think we both had a lot of fun with, Me rapping, who could
it was.
I never had it on my thing.
It's so funny because earlier on our pre-show we were saying, all right, what's everybody's favorite moment of the year with John Cena? That was an incredible moment. But for you, remove yourself from the equation. Is there anything now that you reflect on this past year that John had that really stands out to you that you see, I just like that?
He was consistently John, and I mean that he did his best at the time with what he was given, right? This business is full of people who will, argue and sometimes dumb themselves out of position. John has always taken whatever the task was and he made it better and he knocked it out of the park. And that's admirable. And to watch him go off into the sunset with such class and dignity, to me, is such a rare thing. Because in this business, Bruno had a falling out with, senior and junior.
Right.
Hogan had a falling out. I left. I had a falling out. This is a guy
I remember
who, you're like, what? No, not me. But here's a guy who consistently was on top. And almost the reason I got a chip on my shoulder about John Cena, man, he's a Boy Scout. But it's just like he stayed true to that. And he went out the same guy, just always.
Yeah, you respect the authenticity.
100%.
And the consistency, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
CM Punk, great to see you. Go
It's
get
good to be
warm.
seen.
We got to get to work on Monday. By the way, January 5th is right around the corner.
Are you going to be in Hershey or you don't
No,
work
come
Mondays?
on. No, I'm going to be in Hershey with you.
Okay,
of
good.
course. We'll see you
All
for
right.
Monday Night Raw.
What about you?
Hey, give a big
You don't work
hand for
Mondays?
CM Punk.
Is that a Jewish thing? You know?
That's Friday night. It's
Hanukkah.
not that
Hanukkah's
religious.
coming
Oh, but
up.
it is Hanukkah.
Yeah, happy Hanukkah. And what about you? Shabbat Shalom? No,
That's right. I'm converting.
Give it up for CM Punk, and let's go backstage to Byron Saxton. Byron?
Thank you so much, guys. I'm standing in the gorilla position in the backstage area, which earlier on was packed to the max between superstars, between staff. When John Cena walked out here, received a much-deserved standing ovation, much like he did outside the arena. He kissed his wife and marched off to the locker room. But what's really apparent to me as we talk about just the visceral emotions that we're all feeling about John's retirement now is the fact that, yes, there are some of us out there who are unhappy with the result of the match, unhappy with the fact that John Cena tapped out to Gunther. But John Cena left us with something. He left us all with a life lesson, whether it was the hustle, whether it was the loyalty, whether it was the respect, or despite tonight, whether it was that overarching goal to never give up in life. So for that, I think we're all extremely appreciative of John Cena on a night that I don't think any of us will ever forget. Back to you guys on the panel.
Thank you, Byron. You know what I do want to get into? There was so much anticipation for this moment.
Oh,
Steve.
man.
The last time is now was then. The final entrance, the final stew, the final run, the final towel, all of it.
And I loved even just getting to see on those sideboards the different
awesome.
iterations of John Cena throughout his career was such a nice touch. I love that.
And Joe, can I tell you?
Yeah.
So you were still out at Okerlund position at this point. E and I were outside of the gorilla watching with a lot of other people.
Oh, that's great.
We saw Cena moments before this. We both agreed it was the most sort of nervous, frenetic energy. The cool and calm you saw earlier.
No kidding.
Oh, he was running up and down. He was chatting with everyone. I'd never seen him quite like that.
No, but that's like, I feel like you got to see house show John Cena. You got to see jovial John Cena. To get to see a glimpse of that right before his final match, I thought was really special for him.
It was a very cool moment, man. He's still chatting up everybody. And I'll never get over, one of the things I love about the modern era of Cena is that pop he gets when he starts the run to the ring. I always love that.
We continue here on our post-show, John Cena's final match, and we do so with Paul Triple H Levesque.
This is going to be interesting.
Oh, it's going to be something.
It's going to be something.
Chief Content Officer.
We're going to have a time.
A lot of Bloodline fans. I see a lot of.
That was the wrong finger. They had the wrong
different
finger.
Oh, really? I didn't even notice. Yeah.
I see Jimmy from security's here for a reason. We got Jimmy waiting in the wings just in case.
They wanted Super Cena to make the super comeback and listen, we talked about this when it comes to the match itself. You said it, hey, this is the circle of life. WWE is life, life is WWE, and Gunther is Gunther.
Yeah, look, come on. I'm actually mildly disappointed. I thought it would be so much louder.
Are you surprised by this at all?
No. Look, there are time-honored traditions in our business.
Yep.
And there are ways that you handle your business. John has said the right thing his entire career, that it is about leaving this place better than you found it. I think that people don't, there's no way for people to understand that in the moment, but you do what is right for the business. You do what is right for this industry. John has done that his entire career, and I'm going to do that my entire career. I will do what I believe is right for this business. It just is what it is, and I understand that's tough for people to understand, but it's part of what we do. That is the role we have chosen.
Was there ever even a question in your mind that this would be what the end looked like? It feels very Cena for it to be this way.
Yeah, I mean, that is, if you were to say what will Cena do on his way out, take the emotion out of it and ask people what would John Cena do? And I'm talking about the character, his entire career. Sum that all up and say what would he do on the way out? Right? If we want to talk behind the scenes, he will put over somebody on the way out. He will leave this better than he found it. He will go into the ring and he will make somebody on his way out. That's what John does. It's what John has always done. I know people will criticize this. People will look at it. People will talk about this moment right here. I've got big shoulders. I'm good with it.
Speaking of Cena's selflessness, I know we're going to go back to John Cena in his career, what he meant, but we got to showcase a lot of incredible talent here tonight. Can you talk a little bit about the performances of Oba, of Javon, of Leon, and Sol?
Incredible. Let's start with Oba, and we'll show some highlights as you do.
Please do, yeah. Oba was just incredible. If there's anybody with a presence that says star, if there's anybody with a presence without even having to see him step into the ring and do anything, that you can see walk to the ring, have his entrance, and you can take all the theatrics out of that you want. He is a star. He is a bona fide, charismatic, X-Factor having star that will be on top of this business. When he gets there, will stay there for a long time.
The physical presence is one thing. The athleticism and power is over the top.
The presence on the microphone.
That's what I was about to say. But on SmackDown, standing toe-to-toe with the undisputed champion, he felt the part.
Not long ago, maybe, I think you were there, E, a little over 3 years ago, he had never stepped into the ring in his life. Came to a tryout with dreams and hopes coming out of college. And you see where he is today. I don't know how anybody stops this kid. I really don't.
That was a big win by Sol Ruca as well.
Sol Ruca is just, that is the difference between, there are levels of athleticism. The level of athleticism that you see in Sol is another, just a whole nother level. You see people that come into an industry, and in a moment when you see them, you think, wow, they just changed the business. Sol Ruca just changed the business.
And I think we would all agree. You could give me Javon Evans and Leon Slater all day long. It is just a wild scene to watch them.
Sometimes, moments in the business when people have the level of athleticism that somebody like those two have, they lack other things because they don't need to have them. Right? They don't need to have charisma. They don't need to have the personality. They don't need to have all those other tools because they bring so much athleticism to the table. These two have all of that and then some athletically, and then bring charisma and all the other pieces of it. Again, what you saw tonight to me was the dawning of a new era. So, this whole thing goes full circle. You see the end of the John Cena era and the beginning of a whole new wave in this business that will carry everything over into the future.
Now listen, I know you can't make any guarantees. It's been alluded to that Brock, maybe 26 is the end for Brock Lesnar. That's been talked about. We need Obafemi and Brock Lesnar, don't we? Like, that has to happen.
Just watching Obafemi walk out, there's a lot of people you want to see him go with, right? And I think that's the wonderful thing about it. That's the wonderful thing about NXT. You get to fantasy book these people when they get here and what can they accomplish and achieve. Not everybody's going to take that giant leap to the next place immediately, but Oba's one of those guys where you're talking about Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
Like the ultimate destroyer in the business, and already there's a comparison to him. walking in the door. You know what I mean? That is incredible. Is what when we talk about the future, we talk about where we are, but then we talk about the future. It is so bright. It is incredibly bright.
If only we had an event at the end of January where tons of people got showcased and you never know who shows up.
Yeah, if only, right? I mean, that is the beautiful thing of this. January 5, we're gonna sort of hit that 1 year mark on Netflix. We're gonna have a big event coming up in Brooklyn at the Barclays Center there. That'll be a whole nother launch into a new generation. The Rumble comes along. You make careers, you make debuts, you make careers at the Royal Rumble, and that leads you to the road to WrestleMania, which will be off the charts.
Jumping back to Cena, I think the good news for a lot of people who are very disappointed tonight is I believe he's going to continue as an ambassador moving forward. Obviously, he has a passion for helping others. Do you know what that role looks like? Obviously, he's a very busy man, but have you talked about what his ambassador role will look like moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, John Cena's passion for WWE didn't end tonight. John Cena's in-ring career ended tonight. His competitor stature, and that's a place that, it's rare that people, one, see the end there and then think this is exactly how I want to go out and then get to do it. And that's what John got to do tonight, right? He had his sort of farewell run for this year on his terms and got to do it here in a way tonight that just, it meant the world to him. And I could see it out there in his eyes as he was performing, just having the time of his life. One thing that I know about John is every time I've seen him going to that ring, he's had a blast doing it. Tonight was no different.
Paul, you know what it's like to leave your boots in the ring, in this case Skechers or sneakers
Yeah.
in the ring. Let's talk about just for a moment, just in finality, what we saw after the match. There was a simplicity to it. Cody and Punk honoring him, putting the straps on the shoulder, the roster filling out, and then the simplicity of Cena watching his tribute piece, taking the long walk, one final bow, and one final salute. What was your takeaway on what we saw after the match?
My takeaway is just respect. Respect for a man that deserves all the respect he's getting. And everything that people, fans, put into that match, the amount of people that were here, the records that were set tonight, we crushed a record here for this building. Not just for WWE, which we did, but also for this building. You see this reaction. You see the passion that is here. You hear the passion for them now. Even just toward me, that's all for John. That is the respect level for John. We didn't have to make anybody want to be here tonight. They all wanted to be here. They all wanted to be ringside. They all wanted to be here for John's moment. It's respect. It's respect for John. He is probably one of the most respected, universally respected performers I've ever seen in this business.
Yeah. Here's the best part, Paul. We are like 45 hours away from being back to work. So we got work to do. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
Good to see you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Paul Triple H Levesque. Big ones are coming around the corner. We got Monday Night Raw. We got January 5th in Brooklyn. It's going to be an unbelievable show with headliners. As we're wrapping things up here on the post show of Saturday night's main event. Big E, what'd you make of that conversation?
It was interesting. Just the fan feedback was what I mostly took back from it, but
my hunch is there's conversation about that conversation happening, please.
I can imagine. But look, people are passionate, and rightfully so. It's John Cena. It's his final match.
But here's the thing I would say to fans, and I'll get booed for this too.
By the way, John Cena's sitting here right now.
Yeah, we love John. If you love John Cena and you know about him as much as we all do, they can boo Triple H, and I understand it. You think John Cena would have wanted it to go any other way? And do you think John Cena couldn't have had it go a different way if he really insisted it go a different way? I don't think anyone was going to tell John Cena what his end looked like.
Look, I don't want to speculate. I don't know why things culminated the way they did. All I know is, look, man, we can spend a lot of time talking about how things ended, but let's also spend some time celebrating this man's career, his impact on us. why we're all here. Look, my first match on the main roster, my debut, the first time people ever saw me on the main roster was attacking John Cena, and that only meant something because of all the work that he did. This man insisted that I be in that package with The Rock versus Cena. When I was nobody in FCW, he insisted, he told one of our producers, if that bench press that I had, if that's not in there, I'm not sitting down to do the interview. This man, time and time, has given back to talent. He's given back to fans. He's done Make-A-Wishes. I want to spend some time just celebrating him and thanking him for all the things that he has done, all the amazing ways, all the ways he's shaped our careers, our childhoods. We're all here to celebrate this man. Everyone here, we can all feel a certain way, but we're all here to celebrate John Cena. We're all here for his last match. And I'm grateful that I got to be here for this. I'm grateful that, the fact that people still care, that they're this passionate, that's the impact, that's the lasting impact that John Cena has had on this industry. These people care because he has touched them.
Just
it is
to
freezing, right.
Tess, let me ask you something. I don't know if you knew John much before you came to WWE.
Had met him, but not like spending the past year on the road with him.
So I was going to say, what has your impression been of John Cena since you started on Raw?
Unbelievable, detail-oriented, who cares about his craft and the industry as much as anybody possibly can. And I'll finish the show by just answering that question saying this. Tom Rinaldi, who is a 25-year friend of mine, had this massive sit-down interview with him. And I went back and I read the notes that Tom provided in the transcript. And I wrote down one quote that John turned and said to Tom Rinaldi. And he said, to me, success is simply just fulfillment that you did the best with your life. I use the term earn the sunset. John Cena, welcome to the sunset. You did the best with everything you had in this career. It was awesome. Congratulations on 23 and a half spectacular years. That is it from here in Washington, D.C. Saturday night's main event is in the record books with a Gunther win by submission. John Cena tapped out, leaves his boots in the ring, walks off into that well-earned sunset with one final salute. We will see you for Monday Night Raw and everything that lies ahead in 2026.
Let's go to work. Here we go, Stu.
I'm gonna shoot for you.
My childhood hero, John Cena.